everyone, I'm Don Pratt, host of a show here on Rogers TV where we give you a perspective of police in your community. Welcome to Policing York Region. I've got a fantastic opportunity today. We're actually going to be talking about LGBTQ2 and the policing community. There's a lot of discussion. I've got with me 4 great guests, and we're going to start having a conversation. I'm going to get you to introduce yourselves, and we'll start with you.
Excellent. My name's Clayton Brown. I'm a police officer with the Ontario Provincial Police, and I'm also part of our Inclusion and Diversity Council.
Fantastic. Clayton, thanks for being here.
No
and
problem.
Laura.
I'm Constable Laura Nicole with York Regional Police. I'm a media relations officer, but I'm also part of our LGBTQ internal support network.
And a great partner to this show. Through your team, we get a lot of information out of York Regional Police. So thank you for that, and obviously thank you for being here. And Alicia.
Alicia Lozon, Equity and Inclusion Specialist with the Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Bureau, York Regional Police.
Yeah, very busy unit.
Yes.
Indeed. Right. And Gary.
I'm Gary Wu, and I'm from the AIDS Committee of York Region.
Right.
I'm the Men's Health and My Health program specialist, and I run our LGBTQ program, which is My Health.
Well, thank you everybody for being here. So, yeah, just opening up the program, I kind of want to pick on you a little bit, Laura, and talk about the intern, just because this is closer to my heart, is the YRP network. And we were talking about the ISN network. Can you broaden that a little bit? What is the ISN network at YRP?
Alicia can probably touch a little bit on the fact that we have several different ISNs, but the LGBTQ ISN specifically is for members who want to connect with each other and get involved in some of these community events, but also provide support to our other officers. So we've had officers that are members for a number of different personal reasons that brings them to the table. So from people looking to support their children to officers themselves who identify as LGBTQ or somewhere in that category. And essentially just looking for places to connect and to have that support piece.
Right. So it's exactly what it sounds, internal support network.
Yep.
And it's really important for the folks that are watching to know that one of the reasons that we're having the conversation is that this is information that's now out on the table. We're not hiding this anymore. And places like the OPP and like York Regional Police are 100% behind it. The chiefs in both cases are saying this is out on the table. And we publicly support and endorse the LGBTQ2 communities.
Absolutely.
Right. So, and you're also a member of the internal support network?
Right. So my role at YRP is to actually coordinate the internal support networks. Right. And so YRP Pride would be one of them, and we have 6 others as well.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. So maybe it's not part of the show, but what are the other networks? The other internal support
so the other ones that we have are Women in Leadership, Afro-Caribbean Canadian, Young Professionals Network, Can Be Conquered, that deals with members who have experienced or are going through cancer, and our Christian YRP member as well.
Wow. Okay, so you just gave us 5 more shows for Policing York Region.
Yeah,
that sounds fantastic. And Clayton, you were saying you're part of the inclusion unit at OPP. So what does that look like at OPP?
Okay, so each region has an inclusion diversity council. So obviously, I'm here within the Highway Safety Division, and what we do is we do different outreach, different communities, but it's beyond that. When you talk about inclusion, it's also we did the Ontario Association of the Deaf. We've worked with them. And just trying to create awareness, obviously our LGBT events, so we were involved with York Region Pride. We've also done outreach with the transgender community as well. So we're definitely putting our, walking the walk in addition to just talking about things and getting out there and trying to engage these communities.
Yeah, and a little further on, we actually have some pictures of some of these events that we're going to start talking about. The big one, and it was a fantastic event last year, was the Pride Parade. Having that moved up into the Newmarket area, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But Gary, you said you were with AIDS York Region.
Yes, the AIDS Committee of York Region. We're a nonprofit, community-based organization that provides support and dignified care for people living with and infected by HIV and AIDS throughout York Region. And there's 2 aspects to my role. So the men's health part, I do outreach with the with gay, bi, and queer men, sexual health promotion, education, and I also run our My House Rainbow Meeting Spaces program.
Rainbow Meeting Spaces?
Yeah, My House for short.
Okay.
My House program that provides a social and recreational space for people that identify as LGBTQ2 and their allies.
Okay, so this is the first time that I've had all four of you together, but I'm getting the sense that this isn't uncommon for. It sounds like you all play in the same grounds from time to time.
Correct.
Is that
correct?
Is that a fair statement? And if I'm just going to ask the producer if he can bring up some pictures, and maybe we can talk to some of these events. So if we just watch for the screen, if you want to just speak to what this is.
Well, this was a photo from our flag raising at our headquarters last year. So basically, we raised the pride flag every year at our headquarters for the past several years.
Right.
And this is basically a group getting together to get ready for that. Same with this. This was sort of opening remarks to celebrate Pride Month.
Okay. Okay. Oh, and this is the flag raising in one of the districts, I guess?
Yep. We raised the rainbow flag at all of our districts last year for the first time, so that was a big event, and we'll be doing that again this year.
Right. Okay. And so every I was at the one at headquarters. I understand that each of the 5 districts, including this is the training branch, I believe, isn't it?
Yep. Training branch also.
So there was many flag raisings hosted just by YRP around the region. Right?
All of our buildings, basically. Every building that has a flagpole.
And there's many.
Yeah.
There's many.
Yeah.
And this is at is it at Pride Fest?
That was the community event held by PFLAG last year in Richmond Hill.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was the same event as well. The
This is
family.
a PFLAG family event.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Somebody there's having a good time. Yeah. And this would have been at the Pride?
That was the parade, correct? Yeah.
So this is so we have the gentleman on the left is the deputy mayor of Newmarket, Mr. Taylor. I'm sorry, I don't know the person on the right. In the middle, it's I believe that's Superintendent
Heidi
Schellhorn,
yep.
who used to be up here at 3 districts. She's now down at 2, and some other supporting officers. Some from the diversity program. That's actually our leader of diversity right there, and Superintendent Ricky Varapan. This, I guess, was at the beginning of the Pride Parade, right?
Yeah, Newmarket Parade last year. Yeah.
And there was a wealth of YRP, OPP services from all over, right? Like I seen Durham, Orangeville. I seen flashes from all walks of the YRP community. It was very well supported. As a matter of fact. Oh, and then we had the Transgender Day, and is that being hosted at headquarters as well?
Yeah, this was in the fall, and this was the first time we hosted the Transgender Day of Remembrance and raised the transgender flag at our headquarters.
Great.
So that's
Great.
occurring there.
Another flag raising. Great. Great. So just one thing I want to touch on with the flag raisings, just to note that the town of Georgina was also very much in support. I'm not going to pretend to know who from Pride reached out to the mayor of Georgina, Margaret Quirk, and asked, would you raise flags? So they not only did a flag raising at their headquarters at the Civic Center, but they also, in partnership with the town of East Gwillimbury, which is just to the south of us, they had all corners of Woodbine and Ravenshoe with a Pride flag come June. So it was a very supporting community. Right. One thing that we can't show pictures of course, because it hasn't happened yet, is you have an event coming up in June down at headquarters as well. Who wants to speak on that? Your Pride breakfast?
Well, this year is we're hosting or essentially we're partnering together and hosting a Pride breakfast.
Okay.
That's open to anyone who is interested in attending.
Yeah,
they can
my wife
purchase
and I
a ticket.
purchased tickets just the other day.
Yeah. So it'll be on June 1st, basically, first thing in the morning, 7:30, to start off sort of the Pride Month events. So we're looking forward to that, and obviously hope to see everyone attend.
And get your tickets soon. I can tell you that last year it was a barbecue. And I bought tickets the day that I found out about it, and apparently I got the last 2 tickets.
Yeah.
So it's popular. It goes fast.
Good food.
And it was phenomenal food for the barbecue, and I understand it'll be equally as good for the breakfast.
Yeah.
But one thing, it's interesting to note though that I said that I think I got the last 2 tickets last year. The support that's coming out of the community towards LGBTQ is tremendous, and you must be seeing that. You must be feeling that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I think especially once, we have a car that we have done up with rainbow coloring. You saw it in some of the photos there. We'll get approached on this in the street, oh, that's so great, love the car, and people want to take pictures. A lot of support to the flashes that we have on there. Yeah, so it's been really positive, really great.
Yeah, I hadn't seen we call the flash. Is that what it is? Flash? The police logo? Okay, so
that works. The rainbow.
The rainbow. I had never seen them until last year. We had the opportunity as volunteers to participate in the Pride down in Newmarket, and I'd never seen those. And so when they talk about the rainbow walking down Main Street, Newmarket, it was pretty impressive. There was like I said, there was those flashes from all agencies. We're going to head out into a break here shortly, but I think when we come back, I'd kind of like to talk a bit more about the actual Pride event that gets hosted in Newmarket. People need to know that it's huge. Get there early, because that too it turns into standing room only. But on that note, we're going to head out to break, folks, and we'll be right back, and we'll talk a little bit more about Pride and LGBTQ in the community. Be right back. Hello, everyone. We're back, and we're chatting with the LGBTQ community and what they do in the community, their relationships with the police services. And I want to talk a bit more about your grand event, which is Pride Parade down in Newmarket. So who wants to jump in and tell us a little bit about, I guess, a couple things about it. How long has the Pride Parade been around? I think you've probably seen, at least in the conversations that I've had, I think you've seen the support gain momentum over the years. Last year, I'm being honest, last year was the first one that I attended. I was absolutely stunned with how many people were there, how many supporters were there, how many people had vendors. I guess I'll call them vendors placements. I'm not really sure what that, but it was hosted down in Newmarket by Ferry Lake. I'm guessing 25, 30 vendor spots, and the attendance was huge. So how long has the Pride Parade been around?
Well, I know from York Pride, the organization, that it's been around for about 7 years.
Okay.
And I think I would speak for them that saying last year was incredibly successful.
Yes.
Huge support from the community.
I know people in the town of Newmarket, both in office and out, and I know that they were thrilled to have it there. And the members that I'm speaking of, like the mayor and council and deputy, like they were all on the side. They were all there. They were all there raising their hands in support, right? And that's huge. That's big in your community. I understand it had some great successes when it was in Richmond Hill, but it's morphed up this way. The benefit for my team as York Regional Police Volunteers is that brought it closer to our own backyard. So we pitched it to our bosses up at 3 District that, hey, Newmarket's not that far. Can we stretch our boundaries for the day? And they were all over it. So we created a partnership with the Police Community Advisory Council, which is the Chiefs Council, and we too had a table there. And it was a fantastic day. I was already asked back last November about when are we going again, right? So we also have Jacob Gall in the studio. Unfortunately, we don't have enough room for everyone around the table, but I just wanted to make that acknowledgement that Jacob is here in the studio, and he's giving us some cues on some of the topics that we should be talking about. So one of the things that he's mentioned is We Belong. Who can talk to We Belong?
Right, so I'll talk about it
Sure.
briefly, just to give us some context, since we're talking about LGBT in the community and
Right.
policing.
Yes.
The reason that this came about was York Regional Police felt that we needed to strengthen that relationship with the LGBTQ+ community.
There's that partnership piece again, right?
Exactly, and so what better way to do that than partner not only with other police services such as OPP and their Inclusion Council, but also with other stakeholders. Such as PFLAG, the AIDS Committee of York Region, and York Pride. And when we first met last March, we said, well, what do we want to do? What do we want to accomplish? And it was actually Gary who suggested the idea of We Belong, that Peel region had done before. And we thought, yeah, you know what, if we really want to connect with the community and better engage with them and hear what they have to say, then why don't we do this as a launching pad to Pride Month? And so our focus is going to be on youth.
Okay.
And so we hope to have a panel of speakers from different age ranges. And sorry, you just threw me off there.
So we never got into that conversation earlier. You're engaging youth as well.
Definitely, because we feel that for whatever reason there might be misapprehension for youth to connect with police for whatever matters. And so it's going out to them and listening to them and saying, yes, we hear you.
Yeah, well, and another, bringing that to the table a little further, something that really helps as well is, okay, now we've identified that the LGBTQ movement, it exists, and it's part of our society, it's part of who we are, and we support it. On my side of the fence, it's that community policing piece. It's let's get the police out in the community so that, the reference is let's make their first engagement with police a pleasant one. Anyone hazard a guess at how many police personnel were at the Pride Parade last year? Just a guess?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
We'll just say a lot.
Very good representation.
And these are all people that are smiling, walking down the street, shaking hands. You've seen in the photos, Superintendent Verapan out there handing out, I believe what he had in his hand was the little junior constable stickers, and a smile and some conversation.
Could have also been lip gloss.
Yes, that's right. Oh, yeah, they had some. That's right. I believe I've seen pencils, lip gloss, pins, these kinds of things being handed out by officers, civilians, and everyone alike. Everyone was so receptive.
Yes.
Right? Like it was really powerful to see.
Even within the services, one thing to note that I thought was very important about last year is we all have an LGBT community within within the different services, and to have we had the services, York obviously hosting it. It was the OPP's first year. We've had roots in the LGBT community for a long time, but it was our first time in York Region to see our CMP out there and some of the other municipal services coming out as well. It was really nice to show that they all buy in and they're all participating and standing together to support not only the LGBT community, but also supporting each other at that event. And
on that note, the other interesting part about attendance that day and support was it wasn't just members of the LGBTQ that were there in support. There was married couples. Yes. There was everybody, both from within the police service and outside, that were all there in support, right?
I think because it was running alongside the farmers market.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, which they provided, I believe, approval for York Pride to have the event there. People were just coming in to get their produce, on the
They're
weekend.
Coming in for the tomatoes, and hey, let's go watch a parade.
Yeah, and and you see all these happy, smiling people, and you see rainbows everywhere. Yeah, and it's
not a bad day.
Yeah,
it's really not a bad day at all. So that event is, I made a note of Saturday the 16th.
Correct.
And it's going to be in Newmarket. So the parade itself runs down Main Street. The vendors area is down in the Doug Duncan Drive Memorial area. And I believe, Jacob, did you tell us 3 o'clock? Mr. Jacob? Yes. It starts at 3 o'clock sharp. So for participation, I guess they can reach out. They're best to reach out to yrp.ca/We Belong. Is that correct?
That's for the breakfast. It's
That's for the breakfast, is for the We Belong?
Yeah.
Okay.
For more information on the parade, you'd want to contact York Pride.
Okay, and I did see right on your homepage, yrp.ca, top banner is highlighting Pride as well. So I'm sure if you go there, you can get some information as well, right?
What differs this year is that the parade starts at 3 o'clock and it runs from the afternoon into the evening, the event.
Right,
So,
okay, so
Followed
good to
by
know.
fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
there's
good to
going
know,
to be
because
some
last year was, I believe I was told to be there at 6:30 in the morning, and there was there was some
You
pretty
gotta
groggy
sleep in.
people there at 6:30. Yeah, no, I'm okay.
Come out at
I'm good.
6:30.
I'm good. So it starts at 3. You said it runs into fireworks as well.
into the evening.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
That's cool. So there's
The reason to stay into the evening.
yeah. So they're actually expanding on the event then. Because last year it was pretty much the parade is done and the parade is over, right? The event kind of hung around for a while, but that's fantastic. So you're talking about more of an 8-hour event.
Yep.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So other things that you guys are doing in the community. I mean, you're obviously raising awareness. I see that you guys keep stuff up on your Twitter all the time about current events within the LGBTQ, and I'm assuming that I don't follow the OPP Twitter. I'm sorry, but I'm assuming that you guys do the same. Mr. Schmidt
We've got different events. Exactly.
does,
our media officer, Kerry Schmitz, makes sure that
He certainly gets his rounds with
people
it.
are aware of
Yeah.
what we're doing and what we're engaged in, and we have
Yeah.
many community events that we're involved in.
Yeah.
And we've got. I mean, it's going to be a busy summer for us for a lot of things coming up, and we try and make
Yeah,
sure.
we were
that
talking a little bit about, ahead of the show, and I guess I see some of the stuff that folks are involved in, but just in our conversation, Clayton, I mean, you
exactly.
guys are, you're involved in a lot of different areas.
Well, obviously we'll be at Pride, and
Yeah.
we'll be at the We Belong event, which is, I mean, it's only a few weeks away. It's coming up
it's coming
fast. We'll
Yeah.
be doing the Transgender Work Fair, which is going to be in downtown Toronto, and that'll be once again
For
the
OPP.
It'll be the OPP will have a booth
Wow.
there, and that'll be mid-June. That's a first for us.
Good, great.
So trying to build those relationships and make those inroads. We have the South Asian Festival that we're going to be involved with. Canada Day is going to be a busy day. There's a lot of different events that we're going to be involved within the region. So it's all about engaging the community and getting out there. It's like you said, right? It's it's smiling faces, talking to the public, being approachable.
Positive community engagement.
Exactly.
That's really what it's all about. And Laura's team and YRP, like you guys are the same, right? I mean, you're always trying to do that positive community engagement. And I always bolster it because, of course, I'm on the YRP fence, but it's you guys do a great job in getting that messaging out there. And I guess a lot of it is through these kind of partnerships, right? So, Gary, your unit itself, like where do you guys exist? Do you have a...
Yes, our office is actually based in Richmond Hill at Yonge and Elgin Mill. And the My House program, where we provide space, is a drop-in program for predominantly youth, and we also have some groups under the program for all ages, but it's all based from our office in Richmond Hill.
Okay, and so it's not just you in that office. You have some other folks in there.
Yeah, well, we're a small organization. Okay. There's 5 of us.
Okay.
I make up one half of the outreach team.
Yep. Okay.
We also have our support services team as well.
Okay, and I'm on a bit of a committee side with YRP as well. There's a couple of volunteer committees that I participate with, and I can tell you the Chiefs Council, where there's a collaboration between community members and the police, and there's reciprocal information shared. The chair of that committee, Josie Rose, I know she had no problem at all when she wanted to talk to LGBTQ and educate our Police Community Advisory Council members. She reached out to 3 different services, and all 3 put up their hands and said, "Yeah, we're coming. We'll be at your table. We'll have that conversation." Superintendent Heidi Shellhorn was representative of YRP. She was happy to come out and talk with us. And one person I just want to mention, she couldn't be here today, but it was actually a partner of yours, I suppose, Susan Gibbs, in corporate communications. It was integral to putting this this piece of the show together. As everyone knows, getting people's schedules and timings and fitting everyone into to one morning up at the Rogers Studio in Georgina is sometimes a bit of a challenge. But we did it. We did it in a timely fashion. We'll get this stuff out to our viewers in time to invite them out to your breakfast, which I believe you said was on the 1st.
June 1st, yeah.
On June 1st, they can go to YRP.ca. They can get more information on that there. Okay. And then again for the Pride Fest on June 16th at 3 o'clock in Newmarket, right?
Right.
And folks, that's going to wrap this up. That wraps up this episode of Policing York Region. For more information on the show, rogerstv.com. For more information on York Regional Police, yrp.ca. Been great having you, great guests. Look forward to seeing you again. And that.